Hi, my name is Nicole. Welcome to my channel Travel to Money. In this video, I'm going to tell you about purchasing my third home in Spain that I just picked up for 9,000 euro. I'll tell you how I ended up getting this deal, some of the hiccups along the way, why I even ventured to buy a third house, and what this means for my other homes there. If you are new here, I have created this channel to help you learn about how to travel, adventure, and have fun on the road to financial independence. I have traveled the world, I own a couple of houses in Spain, and I'm on a creative journey to financial independence. I believe the road to financial freedom can and should be fun. I hope you'll subscribe and join me on this journey, no matter where you are starting from. For those of you who don't know, let me give you a quick background on my first two home purchases in Spain. The first house I bought for just under 20,000 euro, which at the time came to about 25,000 US dollars. I found this particular house while doing a web search for cheap homes in Spain. I believe the listing was on idealista.com. At the time, one of my goals was to buy a home in Europe, but I found this house by accident. I was only Googling it to show one of my coworkers the kind of deals you could find on homes in Spain. However, this deal was better than anything I had seen previously. The house was not in perfect condition, but it was move-in ready and fully furnished. The real selling point was the two terraces that had stunning views of the mountains. Now, there are two reasons that I was able to purchase the house for this price. The most notable reason was that the street is the oldest in the town, and about half of the homes are occupied by Romani people, while the other half are occupied by foreigners like me. Romani people are often referred to as gypsies, which is now considered a derogatory term. This people group is very looked down upon, especially in Europe. I have a lot of thoughts on the matter, but I'm not going to get into that now. What I will explain is that even though the street is perfectly safe, some of the people on that street live in a way that isn't always the most desirable to be around. That being said, foreigners like me are a lot more willing to deal with that. However, the Spanish are not. When I had a video that went viral on Instagram about the second house that I bought for $5,000 on that same street, I was accused of a lot of things, like buying homes when there aren't enough homes for the Spanish. And I totally understand that things like that are a reality in certain situations, but it just kind of made me laugh because I couldn't pay a Spanish person to live on that street. They don't want anything to do with it. Now, does that mean that the only great deals on homes are on streets like this? No, homes in Spain are still far more affordable than in the US, but my street is the main reason that I'm able to purchase homes at this price. The second reason that I got my first home at such a low price was that the owner was just trying to get it off of his hands. He owned several properties in the area, was retired, and just didn't have a need for it any longer. And you might think that this is just a once in a million chance, but after knowing several foreigners who have homes in Spain, I think it's really common for people to price their homes super low because they just need to move on, and that can be for various reasons. But that's not something that you can always just do a web search for. I did luck out in that way. Now, house number two I purchased for 5,000 euro. It was the house directly next door to the one I owned. By the way, these are townhouses, so they share a wall. Anyhow, the guy who owned it also owned another home on the street and was planning to renovate it. During COVID, he decided that he wanted to sell it instead of renovating it. He initially listed it for 10,000 euro. My friend told me about it, but here's the thing. I didn't buy my first house as an investment. I bought it because I wanted to live there for part of every year. I wasn't looking for other properties, so I told my friend I wasn't interested. A while later, my friend messaged me again to say that the owner was going to sell the house for 5,000 euro. And at this point, it was just a deal that I couldn't pass up. I mean, I've heard of these $1 homes in Italy where they are trying to repopulate towns, but I'd never heard of anything quite like this. Now, you also have to keep in mind that the 5,000 euro house was mostly in shambles, while the 20,000 euro home just needed some fresh tile. I know 5,000 euro sounds like a great deal, but trust me, the first house that I bought for 20,000 euro was definitely the better deal. Another reason that I was able to purchase the 5,000 euro house so cheap was that I bought directly from the owner who didn't list it through an agent. Most of the time, agents in Spain charge a flat rate which can commonly be between 5 and 8,000 euro. In this case, because the house was so cheap, that would have doubled the price of the house. Agents can definitely be handy, but for cheap houses, I think it's usually better to go through the owner. Well, now that brings us to house number three. If you asked me 2 years ago if I ever planned to buy more than just my one property in Spain, I would have said no. But sometimes opportunities present themselves and they're just too good to pass up. I was visiting Spain earlier this year to check out the $5,000 house and develop a plan for the renovation. There was another house a few doors down that was for sale. It was listed online for 28,000 euro, and while I was there, I heard that it was being dropped to around 18,000 euro. Because I have friends on the street, I learned about the backstory. Some neighbors I had met on the street back in 2018 had purchased that house and done some rehab on it. They decided to sell the house, and I'm not sure the exact price, but they sold it to an older woman, I believe she was from the UK, for somewhere between 60 and 80,000 euro. Now, this house is about twice the width of the first house I bought in Spain. Well, the older woman who now owned it wasn't around for a while. I'm guessing that was probably due to COVID restrictions. Then the roof caved in, making the house unlivable in its current condition. I don't know the story of the woman, but from what I'm told, she just asked the agent to sell it because she didn't want to deal with it anymore. So at this point, it was listed for 28,000 euro. I think a few people even made offers on it. Well, a friend of mine was talking to the agent, and she offered to significantly lower her agent fees and give my friend this house for the price of just 9,000 euro. Initially, my friend and I talked about investing in it together and remodeling it. We decided that we weren't going to go that path. It wasn't until I was on my way home from Spain that I had a thought. I really liked this house that was selling for 9,000 euro. What if I renovated this house and moved into it myself, possibly selling my first house, which I was never intending to sell? I went with my gut and decided to do it. But I want to be clear, I never would have been given this offer if it weren't for knowing my friend. Building relationships, no matter where you're going or what you're doing, is always going to give you the most return. And I don't build relationships for what I get out of them. It's just the way that relationships work. I truly believe that the best investment you can ever make is investing your time and your encouragement into other people. We don't do life alone, and we definitely don't venture to buy homes in other countries without the help of other people. Speaking of building relationships and buying houses in Spain, would you be interested in going on a group trip with me to Spain? I've got a survey in the description of this video, and I would love for you to fill it out so I can stay in contact with you about the upcoming trip plans. The survey will just ask where you want to go, including Spain, what times of year work for you, and what your budget is. I can't wait to head to Spain with some of you. So I currently own 3 houses in Spain. I'm in the process of selling the first house to some wonderful friends of mine who I met through Instagram, who will be fantastic neighbors. You can check out the video of that first house right here. And if you're wondering what it would cost you to own a house in Spain, I also have a video that will break down the annual cost to own a home in Spain. Now, I've got a lot of projects going on with house number 2 and house number 3. We just got the keys for house number 3, and renovating that house will be the priority because I'll be trying to move into it this October. Let me tell you quickly about a hiccup I had in the process of this last purchase though. Like I said, I'm buying the house for 9,000 euro. In Spain, generally when you buy a home, you pay a 10% tax. But when my attorney was doing property research, he got back to me and said that recently the government began assigning minimum values for homes, and that even if you buy it for less than the minimum value, you still have to pay a tax on the minimum value. Apparently, 80% of homes, at least in our area, have been assessed. The minimum value on the house I'm buying for 9,000 euro is 46,000 euro. So they want me to pay a 10% tax on that amount. I swear I nearly lost my mind. With a caved-in roof, no utilities to the house, and it being uninhabitable, there is no way the minimum value is that much. And it's not on a great street.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
So right now we are closing on the house by paying the regular 10% on the 9,000. He said I will likely receive a tax bill for the rest with interest, which I plan to appeal. We'll see how that goes. The house is still a good deal, even if I have to pay that extra tax, but I just don't have money laying around to pay 50% tax on a purchase. Taxes are high in Spain in general, but this new law is ridiculous. Anyway, I don't have a lot of footage of the house at the moment, but other than fixing the roof, the main thing that needs to be redone is updating the kitchen and repairing any water damage from the caved-in roof. I'll be doing plenty of renovation videos along the way, so be sure to subscribe and join me every day where travel and adventure build financial freedom. I can't wait to see where your dreams will take you.